Warning. This program may contain material of an explicit or graphic nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Recording from the B Ward, this is Postmortem. I'm Dom.
I'm JD. Today on Postmortem, we're going to kind of change it up from the last episode. We are going to give you our top 5 decapitations.
Decapitation.
Yes. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Before we do that, we're going to start with some horror movie news like we always do. You want to go ahead and go first, Tom?
Yeah, this is something that I'm real excited about. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a big H.P. Lovecraft fan.
As am I.
Yeah, he informs everything that I do in the realm of horror, and actually in the realm of music. I've done a lot of stuff that was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. And I've been waiting for another good Call of Cthulhu video game. The last good one that came out was in like 2002, 2003. It was Dark Corners of the Earth. But they never made any sequels for it because it all got caught in production hell. And this company last year released some images for a new Call of Cthulhu game they were putting together. They're called Frogwares, and they put together the Sherlock Holmes PC games and the Dracula PC games. And the things that made those games real cool is they were all very story-oriented, and they all had these great atmospheric worlds to explore. So they released the first images of what they want to do for this Call of Cthulhu game, and it looks like a frickin' wet, damp, fishy nightmare.
Like Dagon.
Yeah, look, I've got these pictures here. If you look up
awesome.
on Bloody Disgusting, they've got all the pictures posted. It looks great, and they're looking for a release date for next year, and we're finally going to get and it's going to be very much. What made Dark Corners of the Earth so great is the first half of the game, you couldn't kill anything because you're just a dude stuck with all these horrible monsters around you.
Yeah, you're just scared running for your life, basically.
Yeah, you had to sneak around, you had to like push dressers in front of doors to keep the monsters from getting at you, and that's what this game's going to be based on. Not necessarily killing the monsters, but getting away from them and hiding from them and letting them pass.
That's awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah, have you heard of the new Doom? That's what I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Doom.
I'm gonna be
Doom coming back.
playing that on your big projector TV.
Yes, in the man cave, we will be playing some Doom. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, my news. I have 3 things. They all kind of tie together, so I'm just gonna fire them off because they're semi-related. 2 of them are very related. Have you seen The Mist?
Yes.
It's awesome, right?
Yes.
Lovecraftian.
Yes.
Creatures out of the mist, based on the Stephen King novel.
Real fucked up ending.
They are developing it into a TV show.
Really?
A scripted TV show on Spike TV, the first show on Spike TV that's actual dramatic series and not The Ultimate Fighter or
Wasn't
Car
TNA a dramatic series though?
I have no comment on that. So yeah, The Mist is going to be a TV series. It scares me.
Yeah.
It could be great, or it could be terrible and really piss me off.
Yeah,
a lot.
it could just be The Walking Dead in the fog.
Yeah,
But there's a
The
lot of
Mist, the
potential
movie
there.
was amazing.
Yeah.
To me, it's one of the best horror movies that's came out in years.
Yeah, for sure.
And I loved it a lot. And them developing it into a TV show, especially that's on Spike. If it was on like HBO or something like that, and it was going to be, like an R-rated kind of, like that, I would really like that. But Walking Dead is pretty cool, and that's on normal TV.
Yeah.
But so
And really, at this point, all they can't do is say fucking show titties. Like,
yeah, they show dudes' asses all the time on TV.
Yeah.
What's up with all the guys' asses on TV and no boobs? What is up with that?
It's not fair, man. It's sexist.
Yeah, it is. It's very sexist.
Shit with a straight face.
It's sexist, and I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
I think we need more boobs on TV and less buttholes.
Well, I think a good
Less
balance
male
of-
buttholes.
A good balance of boobs and butthole, I think, is fair. You know?
Yeah, but every dude has to show his ass on TV, but
Yeah.
I can't even get a nipple.
can't even get some side boob.
Yeah, some side boob is rare. You know,
Yeah.
So tied into that is another Stephen King thing. They are developing. It's actually already being shot and it's in production. An adaptation of Stephen King's Cell. Have you heard of the book Cell by Stephen King?
Yeah.
It's a zombie book. Have you read it?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I've heard fantastic
It's great.
things
It's
about
an
it, yeah.
interesting take on zombies, technology, how
Yeah.
everyone's tied to their phones.
It's cell phone zombies, yeah?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Cell signal comes out, turns people into zombies, and then you got people whose phones were dead or not on them, or they haven't used the phone that are still living. It was great. I really liked the book. I'm actually looking forward to the movie. I'm not as worried on it.
Yeah? And
Yeah.
It's a movie or a TV series?
It is going to be a movie
Okay.
starring John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson.
Motherfuck.
Yeah. I'm tired of these
I got
motherfucking zombies.
On my motherfucking cell phone! Why are you yelling, this is how I talk?
Yeah, so it should be pretty good, and I'm looking forward to it. But again, I do have some concerns with it.
It's a Stephen King adaptation into
It's
a
a
movie.
Stephen King adaptation, which most are pretty terrible.
Yeah.
There's good ones,
Yeah.
but most of them suck.
Yeah.
It does have Samuel L. Jackson. That's a strong point.
Yeah.
John Cusack, I'm kind of neutral on.
Yeah, he's hitting
When he
miss.
was young, he was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But nowadays, he's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if you need a sad sack male lead, that's like who you get.
But
So,
didn't 1408 was a movie with him and Samuel L. Jackson, and it was a Stephen King.
Yeah, and
right?
it was good.
And it was all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't
yeah.
say it was good.
It
It was
was
okay.
yeah,
it was passable.
Yeah.
It didn't piss me off.
I didn't
but-
shit my pants while I was watching
Yeah.
it. Which could be good or bad.
So, The Mist, give or take, it might be okay. Cell, I think, might be a little bit better. We'll see. So I saved the best for last. Sticking with the theme of books translated into movies. Directed by Guillermo del Toro,
I love the man.
based on a collection of stories that we all read as a kid. And I'm not talking about Goosebumps.
I read about
There
this,
will
and I
be
just
no-
got goosebumps when you
There will
mentioned
be
it.
no
Yeah.
Jack Black in this movie. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Fuck yeah.
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 By Alvin Schwartz, one of the best books.
Mhm.
Actually, before I even heard about this, I just ordered the 3 Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark
Yeah.
books for my daughter. They came in, we've already been reading it, and now I
Nice.
hear this is going to be a movie. I'm taking her to see it.
Nice. Yeah, I read those
We'll
in
see
like
who-
6th grade.
Yeah, I was in elementary, I think. Yeah, those are great books. It's interesting to me how they're going to capture that great artwork that made the book so awesome as a kid.
Was it Edward Gorey that did the artwork for those? Or it was
I'm-
his style.
I'm not sure who the
Yeah.
illustrator was, but
It was that hard black and white.
if there's someone who could do it right, Guillermo del Toro might be a good choice for a director because Pan's Labyrinth, the guy with the eyes,
Yeah. Oh,
Doug Jones.
yeah.
Remember we were talking
Yeah,
last
yeah,
time?
did all
Well,
of
he could play some of these Scary Stories telling the
Play all
dark
of them,
characters. This is the Doug fucking Jones podcast.
Yeah,
It's not even
for real.
post-mortem. No.
That's our rating system this time. Doug Jones's.
Okay, Doug Jones's. We're
Uh,
gonna rate today's movies in Doug Jones's.
I love Del Toro. Even when his movies aren't that good, they're still visually amazing. So I'm all about that.
Yeah, I don't think it will disappoint me. Yeah, Crimson Peak was a pile of shit,
But it was beautiful.
but it was a beautiful pile of shit. Yeah, it was very well done. Cinematography was great, but it it wasn't good. It had the guy from Turn. Awesome. Maybe one of my favorite series ever. Not horror related, so let it go. So
the Crimson Peak haunted house at Universal Halloween Horror Nights was actually really good. It was the best one they had there
Really?
this year. Yeah. Yeah. I had no idea what was going on because the movie hadn't come out yet, but like
That's
all
pretty-
the ghosts were cool.
that's a horrible strategy.
Yeah. And it actually gave away parts of the movie when you went through it. Like, yeah.
That's a pretty shitty strategy
Yeah.
if you think about
But it was a good haunted house.
So that's my horror news for this week. Like I said, the strongest one, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah.
So
I got a little boner when you said that. I actually
Popping a half
yeah,
chub.
a little chub. I've got one more thing that I read about recently. The dude who wrote Monster Squad. You
yeah,
remember Monster Squad?
Wolfman Has Nards.
Yeah, and the guy who directed Iron Man 3 are getting together to make the new Predator.
Iron Man 3 though.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah.
Ah,
You didn't like it?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
He also did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which wasn't a horror movie, but like the dude's very
Never
good
seen
at
it.
character-driven things. Val
Never
Kilmer
seen
playing
it.
a gay detective. Good movie. It's a guy who understands ensemble cast movies.
I'll be honest with you. Predator 1, I liked. Predator 2, believe it or not, I liked more because
I love
voodoo
Predator
shit.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want some ganja man?
Ever since that, I hate it.
Really?
I hate it. Alien versus Predator, hated it.
I don't consider
Predator,
those.
all this shit. It's just it needs to stop.
You didn't like
They need-
Predators?
No, they
Really?
need to stop with all the sequels.
Okay.
There's only a few movies that have so many sequels that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's not one of them. Predator, to me, he doesn't need to keep going.
You don't think so?
No. If Arnold came back for one,
That would be good.
played a distant relative or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
that would be good. Jesse the Body Ventura, I don't think he's going to be coming back to reprise his role.
He could play like the
but-
son of his previous role or something.
So, all right. Well, yeah, Predator. Anything else to say about that?
No, I'm excited for it. I'm a big Predator fan. I didn't like AVP Requiem. It was too dark. I thought Alien vs. Predator was one of the best romantic comedies ever made. and I actually like Predators. I thought Adrian Brody was surprisingly good as an action lead, and the Robert Rodriguez influence on it. So I'm pretty excited about this. We'll see what happens with it.
All right. Well, maybe I'll give it a shot. If you're going to give it a shot, maybe I'll give it a shot. That way I can come back and shit on it.
Right,
later.
right. You
So-
can punch me if it sucks.
All right. Well, we will be coming back in just a couple of minutes. We have a quick word from our sponsor, which actually we're going to talk about.
Okay.
For once.
All right.
So, Amazon click-throughs.
Ah.
If you go to our website, you click on the Amazon banner.
And it gives us money.
When you do that, it buys me beer.
Yeah.
So, buy me beer by clicking on the Amazon banner. I don't know what Dom will use his money for. We use it for the show. Actually, to be honest with you, we're never going to buy anything for the show.
No.
We're already set up.
Yeah.
But we use it to fuel us to keep wanting to do it.
Fuel
So-
our creativity.
Yeah, and it costs you nothing extra. So,
So
all you
you're going
do
to supply my LSD habit through Amazon.
Yeah, beer, LSD, whatever.
Yeah.
One of us is one is the other. We'll leave it up to you. But yeah, if you click on the Amazon banner, it gives us a small percentage of what you're buying, and at no extra cost to you. Amazon just takes a cut, gives us a little bit of money, not much, but maybe enough to keep going. So we'll see.
You know you're going to buy shit. Buy it off our website. Support us.
Yes,
Don't be a dick.
support the Postmortem podcast.
That was the best Amazon commercial ever.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, beer,
Yeah.
LSD, you hit a lot of plot points.
Yeah.
So. Okay, we are back. So we're getting to the bad movie of the week and the good movie of the week.
Yes.
And then we'll follow up with the top 5 decapitations.
Decapitation.
Yes. Which I'm really looking forward to. That's our first little thing we're doing besides movie reviews. If you guys like the top 5 thing, maybe we'll keep doing it. So.
And the cool thing about the top 5 is that because we're really bad at preparing for things, we actually don't know what each other's top 5 are. So it's going to be a surprise for us too.
Yes, and we will always keep it that way. We will never discuss it ahead of time.
We will never do anything responsible. We will never be prepared.
That's very true. And for that reason, we might have some same top 5. Some of mine might be the same as you. So if I say a movie first and you don't say it, go ahead and jump in. You can say what number it was for you, and I'll do the same. That way we're not talking about something else, then coming back to it. So, but before we get into that, we're going to go with the bad movie of the week and the good movie of the week.
Yes.
So I have probably the worst movie of the week. So if you don't mind, I'll start with the bad movie of the week.
Lay it out.
On Netflix, it has the coveted 1-star rating on Netflix. Just added to Netflix, Hellions.
Haven't seen it.
I'm going to save you the trouble.
Okay.
Don't see it.
Okay.
Okay? So it starts out, the starring role, it's Halloween, girls alone, in the house, dressed like an angel, looking like a white trash B-movie Ronda Rousey with a fake nose piercing.
Wow.
So not as attractive, but So Halloween, left alone. All of a sudden, she's seeing little kids out the window wearing masks. One of them is a direct ripoff of Sam for Trick or Treat.
I was going to say it was Sam.
One of them is a direct ripoff of that. So that was my first indication that this is going to suck, right?
Wow.
They start egging her house. They start doing that kind of little kid Halloween pranks. Then it cuts to her cutting an 80s wrestling promo in the mirror about how she's pregnant. Who talks to themselves in the mirror at length about a situation? I don't really understand it. It was too set up. It was retarded, right? So then all of a sudden, after all this is happening, she starts hallucinating, seeing all this weird stuff. Her stomach is growing by the minute, so to where she's getting more pregnant as the night progresses.
Okay.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. But there's some kind of weird hurricane that cuts to the way the cinematography is on that part. It's kind of like in Beetlejuice when they go to where all the sandworms are.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like she steps into an alternate universe without even leaving her house, and then she ends up going to an outhouse and proceeding to have the worst period ever, to where she's bleeding so much it's filling the outhouse up, and she's starting to drown in her own period blood. Which, pretty cool, if you think about it. Then she's rescued by the T-1000, Robert Patrick, as a cop, opens the door, rescues her. She gets more and more pregnant. It's retarded. There's so many plot holes. It bounces around everywhere. I didn't even finish it. It's very rare, even if it's shitty, if I know I'm going to talk about it, but I just had to let everyone know and warn them about Hellions.
Don't even bother.
I fell asleep. I was like, you know what? I'm going to complete this fucker in the morning. That way I know the ending. That way I can properly rate it. I don't need to complete it to rate it.
Okay.
At the point where I fell asleep, I just had given up. I almost gave up on horror.
Wow.
I almost, yeah. So Netflix has a 1-star rating out of 5.
Right.
I'm going to give it 1 out of 10 Doug Joneses.
Wow.
If we're rating Doug Joneses today, it's 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. Okay. That sounds like a real piece of shit.
Yeah. See it. Everyone, Hellions, go out and see it. Buy a ticket.
Take the ride.
Yeah, like it was in theaters. All right, so what was your bad movie?
My bad movie, I can't tell if it's a bad movie or if they just got the genre wrong. It's called Snowtown. It's an Australian movie.
Is it Snowtown Murders?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
saw that.
That's what it's about. Yeah,
I saw it, yeah.
It's Snowtown or Snowtown Murders. Actually, goes by both. It's
Yeah.
the story of Australia's supposed worst serial killer, John.
Isn't there like a
Bunting.
lot of boy rape?
There's one boy rape scene.
Okay.
And then one scene of a pedophile taking like naked pictures of
Yeah.
chicks.
There was a little too much of that.
Yeah. And basically John Bunting was this serial killer who targeted pedophiles and homosexuals and drug addicts, people that he thought were weak. And he inserts himself into the life of this dysfunctional family and like makes himself the father figure to this kid who has been molested in the past, and his half brother is molesting him and all this stuff. And they went for this sort of hyper real vibe with it, where all of the filming looks like it was almost documentary style,
Yeah.
kind of gritty, and it had that acting quality that like shitty indie pseudo comedies have, like Adventureland and Juno and all those movies, where the actors aren't conveying any emotions at all and instead are just being like too cool to have emotions.
Yeah.
And then there's like one scene where the kid has an emotional breakdown and it's good, but everything else is just like you don't understand where any
Very bland.
is. Yeah, very bland, very dry. But the few gore scenes that they had were very well done, and they actually looked almost real because of the way it was styled.
Yeah, I saw it too. It was a while back, so specifics I'm not, I get hit in the head a lot. So
Right.
I don't really have many specifics about it, but
There was
I
a
do
lot of nothing in
remember
it, too.
it dragging on.
Yeah.
How long is it? Do you know how long it was?
It's like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was too long.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was sitting through it, kind of just trying to power through it. And
I also had to watch it with subtitles on because even though it was in English, the Australian accents were so thick, and
Yeah.
they were using they're basically like the Australian equivalent of trailer trash, and they're using all the slang that they use, which is something I'm not familiar with at all. So I had to throw the subtitles on to even figure out half of what was being said.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it, out of 10 Doug Joneses, I'm gonna give it 3.
3 Doug Jones?
Yeah, because they 3 out of 10 because they made an effort, but it wasn't quite enough.
I would probably agree with you on the 3. Maybe I even might give it a 3.5 Doug Joneses.
Yeah.
Just I would say like if you're gonna give a half a Doug Jones, it wouldn't be like the front half, but it wouldn't be severed in the middle.
Uh-huh.
It'd be like a direct bisection all the way.
Like the lawyer
from the
in
head.
13 Ghosts.
Yes, yeah. So and it'd be the ass half.
Okay.
It wouldn't be the dick half. It'd be
Right.
the ass, and that's
Yeah.
what it would be.
Yeah.
The whole backside of Doug Jones. You got half of one of those and 3. That would be my rating.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so
Good movies.
good movies. I have one I really enjoyed. I kind of cheated because I did see it before when it first came out, but then I just got Amazon Prime
Okay.
and it was on there, and I said, "Fuck yes, Cheap Thrills."
Okay.
You seen Cheap Thrills?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
2013, directed by E.L. Katz. the first movie he ever directed, and
Really?
he swings out of the park.
Yeah, knocks it out.
Yes. Stars Pat Healy, Ethan Embry, who's the kid from Hackers. Remember that movie Hackers?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Me too. It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
You know? As a '90s kid, you know,
That
born
whole
in the
genre,
80s,
Strange Days.
It's it's pretty ridiculous. But you got some Angelina Jolie boobs.
Oh, yeah.
Young, you know,
Good start.
Yeah. So it's got that kid in it, and it's got Champ motherfucking Kind himself, David Koechner, Champ Kind.
Yes.
In a serious role. Not really. He's kind of still the same character he always plays, like waiting guy and Champ Kind and everything. He's
Yeah.
not super serious, but the movie's dark.
Yeah.
It's not a regular... it could be considered a dark comedy, but I would say
It's darker than Very Bad Things.
light on the comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's... At the first half, maybe, first quarter, has a lot more comedy than as we progress, because, as you know, the premise of this movie is a rich guy with a lot of money, a lot of drugs, smoking hot wife, is paying people to do things. He finds these two guys at a bar who were childhood friends. They haven't talked to each other in years and years. And they meet at the bar. They see each other. They're buying drinks. Eventually, Champ Kind buys them drinks, gives them Coke and stuff like that. Or one of the guys. The other guy's
Does
a
the
family
rich
man.
douchebag thing.
And it sets up the premise. Dude needs money. He's getting evicted. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. Maybe the wife was pregnant. I don't remember. Or maybe he had a kid. I can't remember that part. But he needs the money. He needs the fucking money. So he's going to do what he has to do. He's very reluctant at first. And we progress from, at the beginning, I'll give you $50, whichever one of you guys can go to that girl at the bar
Yeah.
and make her slap you.
Yeah.
You know, very simple concept. Guy walks in,
And then it
one guy
escalates,
can't do it.
escalates,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then it goes to like they go to a strip club. He's like, I want you to make the bouncer punch you in the face. It kind of escalates to where there's like shit in my neighbor's house. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
There's canine delicacies. Eventually, to there's weird things too. He makes one of the guys fuck his wife, which was really weird. And he's beating off, and the guy sitting next to him on the couch doesn't realize it. And then he turns around like, "What the fuck?" Ah! So that was pretty disturbing. But then at the end, it culminates. It escalates.
Yeah.
From a slap to the face, we got pinky cutting,
Yeah.
and then some more stuff I'm not going to talk about because I don't want to spoil the movie for you guys who haven't seen it.
It goes dark places.
It goes dark places, and it's very, very good. So, I would give this one 8 solid Doug Joneses. I think it's Douglas Jones. Is it Douglas Jones or Doug Jones? I think we said it right last time, but
Yeah.
who cares?
Well, yeah.
We're gonna go with Doogie Jones.
Doogie Jones.
I'm gonna give it eight Dukes.
8 dudes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 8 Dukes
I'd agree with that.
and 1 Skeeter Valentine.
All right, my good movie. I'm actually going to talk. Well, first of all, I want to say that I watched Bone Tomahawk.
Sweet.
And
How'd you like the Bone Tomahawk?
I back up every single thing that you said about that.
You
movie.
like it that much, huh?
Strong start, kind of long in the middle, real strong end.
Yeah, real strong end, real strong. I
and-
said it's too long, but the cameos and shit.
Yeah. And the whiskey flask scene
Yeah.
made everything worth
Yeah.
waiting for.
It was good.
Yeah.
I really liked it, and I did see your movie as well. I saw He Never Died. I liked it. I didn't like it as much as you.
Okay.
I thought the acting was a little flat. At first, I thought Henry Rollins was just kind of sucking, but then I realized that he was,
Playing detached.
yeah, he's very detached. He just doesn't give a fuck about anything. So it's not that he's a bad actor. It's
Yeah.
just that he's playing the role of having no emotion and saying these one-word answers and everything. It does get pretty good. I think it was a little too long.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that they could have cut some parts out, or just it kind of the first half I was loving it. I was really liking it. As it progressed, it started to bore me a little bit as we got closer to the end. But it was pretty strong. I wouldn't give it the 8 doogies, the 8 DJs.
DJ.
I would probably give it more closer to 6.5, which isn't bad because I grade
Is
pretty
the
harshly.
0.5 like a front half? 0.5?
Yeah, the front half. You
Okay.
got some doogie dick.
Okay.
Yeah, you got the doogie dick half. So
Cool. We'll get on that. I'm good with Doogie Dick. The Duke Man.
Just let's save that clip for a future episode. Dom is good with doogie dick.
Neil Patrick Harris. I hope you're listening.
And he'd give it to you too.
Oh, yeah,
he would not hesitate.
Yeah, heartbeat. I'm a sexy beast. But anyway, my actual movie that I want to talk about, I actually want to talk about something stylistic that I like, so I'm going to reference 2 movies, but I'm rating them the exact same thing because they did it the same way.
Okay.
The Poughkeepsie Tapes.
Yes, Poughkeepsie tapes. Yes.
And-
what does he say to her in the fucking cellar with the mask on? One of the creepiest things in movie. I wish I If I knew you were doing that, I would have pulled the audio clip
Yeah.
for it because that is awesome. He says the whole scene is very creepy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a great psychological profile of
that
Stockholm syndrome, and
that basement scene though really made the whole movie.
Yeah.
For me. I can't remember what he says to her, but it's really creepy. He says it over and over.
yeah,
But you guys,
I can't remember what it is either. But yeah, it's a great movie, and also this movie that I watched last night called Noroi. It's a Japanese movie.
How do you spell that? So if people want to look it up.
Noroi, or
Okay.
it's also called Noroi the Curse.
Is it on Netflix? Anything like that?
No,
or-
I had to actually go to the web for it.
Okay.
And it's long. It's like 2 hours long, where Poughkeepsie Tapes is a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
But these two movies did something stylistically that I'm really liking. When the found footage movies came out, like when Blair Witch came out and all that.
Oh, it was good. Blair Witch used
Yeah.
it, and then everyone
Yeah.
wants to fucking do found footage because
Yeah.
it's cheap.
Yeah,
It's cheap
exactly.
to make. I
Cheap and
understand why they
easy,
make
and
it.
you can
Yeah.
improvise it.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where it was just the most played out fucking thing ever. And one of the things that really bothers me about most of the found footage movies, and it's a total amateur move on the director's part, because Blair Witch didn't do this, and even Paranormal Activity didn't make this mistake. They don't use the sound design right because they don't have movie or music in the found footage movies to set the scene.
Yeah.
So instead, like Blair Witch, they use the sound design. Paranormal Activity, they use the sound design. But
Yeah.
all the amateur-ass movies, they don't. And that's one of the things that frustrates me. But what Poughkeepsie Tapes and Noroi did is they took the found footage and they put it into the documentary style, so that there could still be music in there to set the scene.
That's awesome.
And it's still everything looks gritty. And in both of the movies, most of the really brutal stuff happens off camera, so you don't have to worry about shitty special effects ruining it. But when they do bring in good special effects, it's the same thing like we were talking about earlier today about the August Underground movies.
Yeah.
You have the shitty filming with great special effects.
Yeah,
so
it makes it
look
seem so real,
real
more
when
than
it
yeah.
happens.
It takes you there.
Yeah.
because it's this grainy video that's obviously a one handheld camera,
Yeah.
not multicam, anything like that, and it really takes you into that place. Another movie that was like that same style you're talking about. Not to cut you off, but The Sacrament. Did you see
Yes,
that? A lot of
yes.
people hate it.
No, that
a lot of
movie
people
was
shit
great,
on it
yeah.
online and stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen. I loved it.
And
you know
very
what's going to
smart,
happen,
yeah.
but
Very smart use of sound design in that movie.
yeah,
too.
and that guy was very convincing. Yeah,
Yeah.
the main pastor guy.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, great movie. And so the stylistic thing that I'm liking is that they're taking the found footage, they're putting it into this documentary format. It tells a story in a format that makes sense. They can bring in the bells and whistles like sound design, and when they do the special effects, they matter.
Yeah.
For Norway, because Norway was more about ghosts and psychics. Like when telekinesis randomly happened in these scenes, it was like, holy shit, there's special effects in this movie too. So for both of these, and for the same reason, I'm going to give Poughkeepsie Tapes and Noroi both 8 Doug Joneses.
8 Doug
Yeah.
Joneses. That's you've given out 8 severed reanimated penises
Yeah.
last week,
Yep.
and you've given out 2 more 8s.
Yep. I'm looking for the 9.
Wow. See, that's strong. I give out 1 8,
Yeah.
and I gave Bone Tomahawk 7.5
Yeah.
severed reanimated penises.
Yeah.
So, like we said, we're going to change the rating system every week. Last week, we decided on the spur of the moment it was going to be reanimated severed penises.
Yeah.
This week, it's good
Doug
old
Jones.
Doog.
Yeah, the dude.
The Doogie. The Doogs. Doogmeister. Doogorama.
Dugatola.
Dougatola. So yeah, that's a pretty good recommendation. I would give Poughkeepsie Tapes probably close to an 8 too, maybe 7.5,
Yeah.
but the good half as well.
Yeah, Poughkeepsie Tapes was good because it was short. It was short and punchy, and it got everything out. I mean, it was under 90 minutes, I believe. I think it was like 86 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a while since I saw that one too, but yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Like, it got everything to the point and didn't have, like, drawn-out people fucking running through the woods being
Yeah.
idiots.
I would recommend that too. And if you guys are going to watch it, I don't remember the quote, but pay attention to where he's talking to the girl in the basement. And he's wearing the mask, and what he's saying is so creepy. I wish I had it off the top of my head, but I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe if we get our shit together, we can edit that clip in right now. And this is us coming back without editing that clip in because we don't have our shit together. So, all right. So that's the good and bad movies of the week. We're going to come back after this with the top 5 decapitations.
Decapitations.
All right. So here's a word from our sponsor.
March 13th, superstars will collide in San Luis Obispo when SenCal Pro returns to The Graduate. Be there when the Pumpkin Queen Sage Sin takes on wrestling personified Rick Luxury in the final showdown of the tournament to determine the very first Five Cities champion. Join the SenCal Nation and celebrate 1 year of hard-hitting, chair-splitting, audience-riveting pro wrestling action. All ages are welcome, and the Grad will be serving their full house menu during and after the show. For tickets and info, check us out at www.sencalpro.com.
He's pointing, by the way.
I was doing the Wayne's World. 5, 4, 3, wave, point. Okay, so we're back with the top 5 decapitations, like we said. So, like we said, we're gonna maybe change this up. We might do the good, the bad, the news, and that might be a whole episode. Every once in a while, we're gonna throw in top 5s. We're gonna have guests. We have a couple guests lined up. Next week, we're gonna have our first guest. We're gonna do another top 5.
Yes.
Which is gonna be masks.
Yes.
Top 5 masks. And I'm
Masks
not talking
that
to
aren't Jason.
Yeah, masks that aren't Jason or Leatherface or fucking Scream, Ghostface. I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. None of the ones you see sold at Halloween City. Let's put it that way.
Right.
That's probably a good indication of, we're gonna dig a little deeper with our masks. So that's next week. This week, top 5 decapitations.
Heads removed from bodies.
Heads will roll. All right, so my first one, I actually have a sound clip.
Oh, yeah?
I have my shit together for this.
Wow.
One. We got our first official sound clip, which we're gonna get sued over because they need money to keep making these movies because
We'll send
they're
them a
pretty
quarter.
low budget.
Yeah.
So I'll give them a quarter. Number 5, Jacob Gelman, played by Joe Fleischaker, who is in a lot of Trauma movies. This is a Trauma movie.
Okay.
You ever seen Class of Nukem High 2?
Yes.
I used to pause it on those boobs a lot as a young man.
Yes.
I wore out that VHS tape. I
Yeah.
still have it. Maybe I'll pass it down to my son.
Nice. Give him a box of Kleenex with it.
Yeah, box of Kleenex, some lotion, and Class of Nukem High Part 2. So, in Class of Nukem High, remember the fat guy that talked really high?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he plays Jacob Gelman in this movie.
Okay.
This isn't your classic decapitation. This fat dude gets eaten by an escalator. The movie is Terra Firma. You ever seen Terra Firma?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fat dude eaten by an escalator,
Yeah.
all but his head. So it is a decapitation because there is a severed head, but there's no more body. Kind of changing it up on you.
Yeah.
Coming out of left field, huh?
Yeah.
So
that has the Ron Jeremy in the cage scene.
yes, it
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
Trauma is
life-affirming rape scene.
life-affirming rape scene. Trauma is hit and miss. I love Trauma. As I've seen a lot of the Trauma movies, but they are hit and miss. We'll be honest. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. But yeah, so Terra Firma was pretty awesome. Jacob Gelman eaten by the escalator. What makes it isn't just the fat guy being eaten by the escalator, screaming so long, there's guts flying everywhere, screaming so long that he stops screaming, looks down at his guts, and then screams again because it just won't stop going. And then the tranny's hitting him. Oh, spoiler alert! Hitting him with the axe the whole time. What makes it to me is after this happens, we have Lemmy from Motorhead.
That's right.
As a news reporter, dressed just like Lemmy. We're not talking about a suit or anything like
Yeah.
that. It's just Lemmy smoking a cigarette, but he's an anchor for a news station,
Right.
which makes no sense, but I loved it.
It's fucking Trauma.
It's awesome. Interviewing the wife of the guy eaten by the escalator. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play the clip of Lemmy's interview with Jacob Gelman's wife.
Okay.
We now take you live for an eyewitness account.
Adam, could you tell us your first reaction when you found the mangled body of this venal fat bastard?
My first reaction, I believe, was.
We know how painful this must be for you, but can you tell us what is your net worth?
Mommy! Mommy! Look at my new toy! Wee! Wee! Wee!
So that was the son of the woman holding and throwing and
Yep.
catching the severed head. And that makes the scene too. He's in there with his dad's head. Wee, look at my new toy. Wee. And Lemmy, while he's interviewing this bitch after her husband died, is smiling.
Right.
And just totally loving it.
Trying to figure out
Like
what she's
laughing
worth.
about it. Yeah. No, the other guy. There's another reporter.
Yeah.
There's like
that's
multiple
right, yeah.
reporters, you know, when they do that shit, like on a big story. Well, Lemmy's a guy sitting there smiling with big eyes. It was so awesome. I love that part. I love Lemmy. And if you get Terra Firma, make sure you look at the extras. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone from South Park play like hermaphrodites, right? And there's like bathrooms, like men, women, hermaphrodite, and it's like a shitty little bucket. You know? It's like no hermaphrodites allowed. It's like segregation of hermaphrodites. It's pretty funny, but I recommend it. So, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Ghost Ship.
Yes.
Not
a good movie.
Not a good movie.
Great scene.
Yeah. This was the only good scene in the movie.
That could be a top 5 too. Shitty movies with an awesome scene from a shitty movie.
I've got like 3 in my mind.
Yeah,
right now.
me too. Yeah.
The opening scene to Ghost Ship, where all the people are on the dance floor, and there's the little girl who doesn't have anyone to dance with, and the captain comes up and he's like, "I have this dance," and she takes his hand, and they're dancing on the dance floor, and then there's this cable. And the cable breaks loose and shoots across the dance floor and cuts everyone but the little girl in half.
Yeah.
And all of these people are like trying to shove their guts back into their body while they're laying in 2 pieces.
It was good.
Little girl was just short enough to not get cut, but then she looks up with the captain that she's dancing with, and he looks like he's okay for a second. Then that line of blood starts halfway around his head. The top half of his head falls off.
You know, I'll give you that. You know, it wasn't a true decapitation. It's a half a head missing.
Yeah.
It's not a whole head missing, but it's good enough to make the list.
Yeah. Yeah, it was... I had such high hopes after that scene, and then the rest of it was just soul-crushing.
Well, just the same as that. I mean, that rolls right into my top 4.
Yeah.
Or my 4 out of my 5. It's not the same movie. It's the same premise. Shitty movie. Great scene. I'm talking about Jason Takes Manhattan.
I know.
On the rooftop.
Yeah, the boxer.
The black boxer, punching Jason in the mask repeatedly. Come on. Boom, 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 boom. And then Jason hauls back, hits him once, and his head flies off, bounces into a dumpster.
I think
that's movie making.
That whole movie was just a setup for that scene.
Well, they could have just punched some guy's head off at the camp.
Yeah, they could have.
Could have been boxing camp.
Yeah, that's true.
Camp Crystal Lake boxing lessons.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have
I'd
gone
sign up.
like off a building and like into the dumpster.
That's true. That's true.
That and the scene where he kicks the dude's boombox that's playing. Like that's pretty
that's pretty sweet too. And have you seen there's like clips going around on the internet?
Nene song,
they put that fucking. Oh God, I hate that song so much. Every time I hear it, I want to take a screwdriver and shove it in my ears.
Yeah.
Fucking don't do it, RJ. We have our friend RJ in the studio listening to us. If you hear those laughs, and he's doing the fucking dance right now.
Yeah. He's gonna get a screwdriver shoved in him,
and it won't be in the ear. Oh. No, you can say it's okay. All right, so number 4, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Good one.
Good pull.
Yeah. My number 4 is not from a horror movie. It's from the show The Young Ones. It's a BBC show from 1984.
Okay.
And the premise was there's a political activist, a punk, a hippie, and a sort of con man, sleazy guy who all live in a college apartment together. And it stars Rick Mayall, who was Drop Dead Fred.
I've seen that before.
Yeah,
a long time ago. So I remember that though.
Yeah.
The Young Ones, right? Yeah.
It's my favorite show. And there's a lot of slapstick violence in it because it's in a very cartoonish world. Like there's puppets and things like that. And, like the mice in their house are puppets. Their banister's a puppet at one point. They go to fucking Narnia at one point. And there's a lot of like people getting hit in the nuts with cricket bats and Three Stooges style humor. But they very rarely ever got gruesome on that show because it was 1980s TV.
Yeah.
But there's
on the BBC, a government funded station.
Yeah.
It's weird that they put things like Old Greg on there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, now they
What are you using your money for? Old Greg. I'm Old Greg. I got a mangina. Look at my mangina.
That's called supporting art, I guess. But so in the second season of The Young Ones, first episode of the second season, they're on a train trying to get to a game show that they're going to be on. And Vivian, the punk character, is walking through the train because he wants to go shove toilet paper in all the toilets and plug them up. And he sees a window with a sign that says, "Do not stick your head out the window." And he says, "I wonder why." And he sticks his head out the window, and the train goes through a tunnel. And it goes black for a second, and then it comes back, And even though his head's not even on the train, you hear him screaming. And his body is missing the head, and there's blood gouting out everywhere. And the hands are feeling around like, oh shit, where's my head? And then it pulls the emergency stop, gets off the train, walks back down a little ways, and finds the still living head on the ground talking shit to the body like, over here, you wanker! Get me over here! And like, walks over, misses the head, and starts kicking it down the train tracks. That's my number 4.
Very reminiscent of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
You know, the robot where he's like, come on, over here.
Yeah.
Dunks his own head in the basketball. Yeah. So I actually was thinking about whether to include non-horror movie decapitations. I opted against it.
Okay. I went with this one because it was gruesome. There was blood. There was...
Yeah. And that's fine. It's completely okay. I opted against it because I just wanted to give credit to the horror movies, you know. But there was some, like, I did think about that.
Yeah.
Robot Bill.
Yeah.
Evil Robot Bill.
Full-on robot chubby.
I got a full-on robot chubby. All right, so number 3. Hellraiser Bloodline.
Okay.
Talked about it last week.
Yes.
Gets overlooked. I love Hellraiser Bloodline. I've seen it probably 100 times. When I was like 10 years old. Yeah. Hellraiser in space, but it's not always in space.
Yeah.
Starts out in France, goes to America. The scene I'm referring to is in America. John Merchant developing a giant box, right? But there's demons.
Yes.
And they come for the Merchant family like they always have. So John Merchant, in front of his little boy and his wife, Pinhead says, fuck you. He mouths off to Pinhead. You don't do that.
Right.
He mouths off to Pinhead. He says, fuck you. Chain flies. Goes through his neck.
Yes.
Through his neck. So it's through his throat. He's grabbing the chain. He's kind of gurgling a little bit. Cutting to the end of the chain. 2 switchblade, like, hook things. Like, almost like sickles that go the opposite directions from each other.
Yeah.
Flip out of the chain. Pinhead brings the chain back.
He pulls a scorpion.
Yes. Get over here. Actually, just go to 2 pieces.
Right.
Whatever. Just lose your head. Not really so much come over here. I don't think Pinhead has that much emotion.
No.
Anyone to come near him.
Yeah.
I don't think he gives very good hugs.
Probably not.
So,
pokey.
John Merchant, head. Yeah, he is pretty good. You know, it would be awesome if his spikes were going the other way. You could just headbutt people.
Yeah.
It would hurt him more. It wouldn't be practical with nails in your head.
Yeah.
To headbutt someone because it just make the nails go further
Right.
in your head. But he likes pain. But anyways, John Merchant loses his head. It goes to an awesome slow motion scene of his head rolling,
Tumbling,
and rolling till it hits the ground, and his family screaming. And then he does the old school, go to your knees, go to your face. You know?
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my head, so that instantly makes my body go to its knees and then face bump. So, yeah. So, yeah, that was pretty awesome. I love Hellraiser Bloodline. It's not the last time I'll talk about it. I'll try to talk about it less in future episodes, but...
It's a good decapitation, though.
It's a great decapitation. So, all right, you're number 3.
Evil Dead 2, Ash versus Linda.
Yes.
That whole goddamn scenario.
Yes.
Body flying at him, shovel takes the head off, leading into the headless ballet, which is still a work of art if you go back and watch it.
It is.
Now.
It's
they don't
great.
even need to digitally remaster it. Like
It's great.
It's amazing. And then
It's so obviously fake.
Yeah, the
I
fight,
love it so much.
But the best part about all of that is when he has the head in the vise in the shed, and then the fucking headless Muppet body with the chainsaw comes.
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
and it totally moves like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah,
chasing
and it
him
just
around.
spins in circles
Yeah.
without its limbs moving.
Yep.
It's somehow spinning without its legs moving at all. I love it.
So
I
great.
love it. That's
Yeah.
a great pull.
And then the head chainsaw taking the head right down the middle.
I love it. It is on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
Didn't want to include it on the list because I felt it was too obvious.
Ah.
Yeah, that'd be like number 1, severed hand scenes. What's your number 1 severed hand scene? and fuck Star Wars. We're talking about Ash. So, but yeah, that's a great scene. I love it. Evil Dead 2, I have tattooed on me, of course. I love that shit. Number 2, just for me talking shit about let's not go with the obvious. I went with the most obvious thing ever for number 2, Mrs. Voorhees. Alice cuts her fucking head off. Finale of Friday the 13th Part 1 when it's revealed that it's not Jason killing these people.
Yep.
It's his mommy. And
Yep.
mommy's mad. But then mommy loses her head. One stroke with the machete, head flies off, we all go home happy. And
Alice
then they
is
even
the strongest bitch on the planet. She can do
yeah,
that too.
I know, yeah, and she was all fucked up by that point and running and tired, and It's not very. It doesn't make much sense, but it's iconic.
Yeah, for sure.
You think about that. That's one of the great movie decapitations. And then they brought it back in Freddy vs. Jason to where, you know, his mom's head was talking to him still, and it floated in the water and all that shit. But yeah, I love Mrs. Voorhees. I love that actress. I can't even think of her name right now. I should have made a note of it, but she nailed it. Yeah, because that whole scene where she reveals herself that it's her.
Yeah, and she just has that sort of like
cuts that promo. Yeah. I love it.
Good shit.
That's my number 2, Mrs. Voorhees, decapitation by Camper Alice or Camp Counselor Alice.
So, my number 2 is Street Trash.
Yeah,
the Bum Lord getting his head blown off by the high pressure tank.
There's not enough street trash in the world. There's not enough talk about street trash.
Yeah, there isn't. It's a great movie all the way through. But the best part about that, he gets his head blown off with the tank, and it's sitting on the ground with this pile of like neck gore all around it, and it's still kind of alive. And the chick in the miniskirt runs past him and jumps over him, and just before the head dies, the last thing he does is take a second to look up her skirt.
You know that my friend Billy Graham is in that movie.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a future guest, so we'll see. Yeah, you got anything else to say about Street Trash?
Everyone should watch it. It should be required watching, like in school.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that we might have the same number 1. I don't know if we do or not, but you know me. You know my number 1. Mm-hmm. There can't be... I didn't make this whole top 5 list just to include this movie. You know it's my favorite movie of all time. Reanimator.
Okay.
Dr. Carl Hill. Jeffrey Combs playing Herbert West with the shovel. You're going to steal my formula, bitch? No! I'm taking your head! I love it. It's the best. It's the best movie of all time, undisputed. It will go down. There should be like an honorary award at the Oscars or something.
Yeah, where it gets every time.
Yeah, every time it wins it every single time. Just for being the best movie in the history of cinema, because it has horror, it has boobies,
it's hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's funny. It's the greatest movie of all time.
It's a great movie.
And if you do not agree with that, or you don't know, let's say you don't have to agree with that, but if you don't like Reanimator, just put stop. Don't click on the Amazon banner.
Yeah.
Because we don't want you.
Yeah.
We don't want you. We don't want your support. We don't want your money.
Go listen to that Justin Bieber Lake podcast if you don't like Reanimator.
Yeah. Dr. Carl Hill. What a great character, Dr. Carl Hill.
That is a great one. I actually specifically did not include Reanimator because I knew you would.
You knew it would be my number 1.
I knew you would.
You see right through me.
My number 1 decapitation is in High Tension.
Yes. Yeah, the dresser.
The dresser
in the stairs.
Head shoved through the banister.
Oh, yeah.
I love it so much because it was so goddamn shocking when it happened.
It was.
Like, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
It's not really realistic. I don't think that would happen, but it's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
In real life, it would just, break his neck and he'd die anyway. But god damn, when that happened, like, I knew that, I'd heard about High Tension, and I know that, like, French horror likes to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
We've all seen
Martyrs. The French have been killing it. Martyrs, High Tension, Inside.
Yeah.
Dude, Inside.
Great movie. Yeah.
Top 5 mandatory abortions or C-sections on video.
Well, but when that happened, I was like, it's not gonna happen. Oh fuck, it happened. And I should have known because like there was the prior scene where the dude's like fucking the severed head in the car.
Yeah, dude. That could have been. I love the dresser scene, but fucking the severed head in the car and throwing it out the window.
Yeah.
Pretty strong.
If
I would have, I didn't think about that.
But...
On my honorable mentions, I do have the dresser scene.
Okay.
But I did not think about the mouth head, severed head zombie, or not zombie, but mutilated severed head blowjob. Yeah.
Great.
That's that's what it should be. So maybe it shouldn't have been Doug Jones's. Mutilated severed head blowjobs. Maybe that's what we'll be our next show. That'll be the next show, the rating system. 1 out of 10 mutilated severed head blowjobs. So, all right. So that's our top 5 decapitations. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we do. You said you only had 1 honorable mention.
Yeah. Well, I think I have 2 now that I think about it. One of my honorable mentions was the most recent Evil Dead movie. Chainsaw down the face, split right down the middle. It wasn't necessarily decapitation.
It's a good movie. I don't care what people say. I love Evil Dead. Yeah. I hate remakes. That's a good fucking movie.
It was a sequel as far as I was concerned anyway. Especially because they're going to be bringing them together. I read about that.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Also, the one that just occurred to me while we were sitting here talking is Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah.
The lawnmower.
Hobo with the Shotgun. That movie came out of left field, huh? There's been nothing like it for. I mean, you can think about like Grindhouse being similar to the feel of that movie,
But Hobo with a Shotgun was insane.
it was, and I love him.
Yeah.
He's so awesome. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
in everything he's in. Rutger Hauer, right?
Yeah. Is he still alive? He'll probably be
I
alive.
want to say
forever,
yes because I want him to be alive. So you
Yeah.
know, if he's dead, he's still alive.
Okay.
He's alive in our hearts,
Right. In the twinkle,
fucking
in the
hearts.
twinkle of a child's eye.
And in a twinkle of a child's eye, Rutger Hauer will always breathe. So, all right, my honorable mention: Dead Alive, the nurse.
Yes.
The head falls back. They're still feeding her the porridge.
Yeah.
And then they start scooping porridge down her neck hole.
Ah.
That was my
glorious.
original. That was my original number 5. But I wanted to include that scene because R.I.P. Lemmy. You know.
Yeah.
That scene made me really happy. I was watching it the other day, and I started thinking about this, and I'm like, the fucking fat fuck in the escalator. I gotta include it, you know, just for the Lemmy clip. And if you guys watch that movie and just watch Lemmy and look at how fucking happy he is when he's interviewing,
Glad to be there.
yeah. And he was difficult on set. I watched some interview about it.
Yeah.
He was difficult. Like he's like, I'm not coming back. Blah, blah, blah. They need to meet his demands. Lemmy is a serious actor.
Yeah.
He only wants green M&Ms.
Right.
You know, he's that kind of guy. So, but I still love him. So another one. You ever seen Deadly Friend, where he throws a basketball at Throw Mama from the Train? The mama throws a basketball.
Oh, the mom from Goonies?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And a basketball just throws the basketball across the room and hits her in the head, and her head explodes. You gotta see
I've never seen that.
You would fucking love it, dude.
Huh.
It's so ridiculous, but it's so good.
Is it like Scanner's head explode?
Yeah.
Wow.
It explodes from a basketball. So that was pretty cool. Linda from Evil Dead, another one of my honorable mentions. High Tension, we talked about that. Maniac, not really a decapitation, but no more head left. When all the people come and start ripping out the head. Remember that part?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. It wasn't enough of a straight decapitation
Right.
for me to include it.
It's more like treating a head like monkey bread.
Another one, Stifler. Stifler himself getting decapitated by that piece of metal from the train in the original Final Destination.
Yes.
The train hits the piece of metal, it spins, cuts off Stifler's head.
Yep.
Fuck you, Stifler.
Fuck that guy.
Dead Stiflers. How many severed Stifler heads?
Hey, write this shit down.
No, we're just gonna come up with on the fly every time. My last honorable mention for decapitations. They call me Sex Machine. Tom Savini himself, from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep.
Zombie dog, Tom Savini.
Yeah.
Kind of turns into like a zombie dog for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah. He's like
No one else does that.
werewolf, vampire
Just
thing.
because he's Sex Machine.
Yeah,
You know?
he's like, I'm
and he has
Tom Savini,
the
fuck
flip
you.
out like it's like a switchblade, but it's like a dick of like a gun that comes out
on his
it's,
codpiece,
it's awesome.
yeah.
And how does he control that with his mind? There's no. He doesn't have a button. What the fuck? How does that even work?
It's the cybernetic implant.
Yeah.
He lost his dick in Nom and got it replaced.
No, that was the other guy. No, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I feel the cold dead Chinaman. And yeah. It's extremely racist. Chinaman. We don't use that
Yeah,
term.
no. They're yeomen. Yeomen.
Yeah.
That's what
And then a whip right on the head pulls it.
right off.
Yeah. Come on, Sex Machine. That guy was awesome too. So yeah, that's it for my honorable mentions. We hope you enjoyed the top 5 decapitations. Dom, anything else you want to talk about?
No.
All right. Well, Dom says fuck off. So that's our cue.
And remember, in the wise words of H.P. Lovecraft,
Yes, indeed.
if it smells like fish, throw it back.
Throw the fucker back.
Thank you.